Welcome to Only Good Heroes. I'm your host, Lucia Nazzaro. And on this show, we are highlighting incredible people and organizations making a huge impact in their communities and our world. On today's show, I'm so honored to welcome Evan Meyer, the CEO of Beautify. Evan, thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here. Thanks.
Yeah. And I have to note that Evan is standing because he wanted the most energy that he could have in this interview, which I love and appreciate. Evan, for those that don't know, tell us what Beautify does.
Beautify connects the world's walls with the world's artists and funding sources to have those walls beautified.
And before you started Beautify, what was your career before that? How did you get to the place that you are today?
Yeah, so, my background is in software. Actually, even before that, I was in transportation, even more in the government space around transportation, building a platform called Ride Amigos was my first company that was really meant to understand commuter habits and behavior and work with cities to increase air quality and decrease traffic, so on and so forth. During that time, I got involved with my neighborhood association called the Ocean Park Association here in Santa Monica, and eventually became president for my passion of civic service and civic duty to my community, voicing on behalf of the residents, the council, like neighborhood associations do. But during that time, there was a wall on Lincoln Boulevard in Santa Monica. There's a street called Stinkin' Lincoln that people were calling it. And I realized at that time that this one wall that really bothered me could be beautified, and it could change everything about how people see this area of the street. It worked out, one thing led to another, and Beautify Lincoln became Beautify Crenshaw and Beautify LA and eventually Beautify Earth. And now we have a technology company that facilitates all these transactions, kind of like an Airbnb for beautification, if you will, where the whole process is kind of managed through, and we do beautification en masse. So our mission is to make the world a beautiful place and make every wall beautiful.
Why do you think beautifying spaces is so key and important to communities?
Oh man, a million reasons, but the research shows walls with art tend to decrease vandalism up to 95% in many areas. And that's just because broken windows is real. Like if you treat things nicer, people tend to treat things nicer. If you keep them uncared for, then they tend to be uncared for. That's why cities always hurry up to try to fix vandalism. So people just tend to keep things nice. That's the root of it. Goodness is inspiring. And people like nice things. They like pretty things. So litter goes down. We were declared essential by Santa Monica Police Department during the lockdown, the early lockdown, to continue to paint boards in Santa Monica, because they knew that if you board things up, then that can lead to a feeling of that the place is being unwatched, and then you have to deal with what happens with that vandalism, crime, burglaries, etc. So we were out painting all these boards. Not to mention at the location level, foot traffic increase. It's you're going to buy an awning or a billboard. Like, why would you do that when you could just make your whole space a destination?
What were some of your favorite communities, Evan? I know it's hard to choose with so many, and why? What made those communities so special?
I guess it's an unfair question because I'm a sucker for Santa Monica. So if I can answer with that as my number one. And it's really because, I'm deeply invested here in not just the community, but the people and the well-being of the people and the businesses, supporting small businesses. When you take a deep-rooted interest in a community and you care about the space, you go out of your way to really try to make it better. And with Santa Monica, we've done over 130 pieces now here in Santa Monica, and I'm really proud of that. I mean, it's taken a lot of work.
I know you said 110 cities, but could you just name a handful, as many as you can remember?
LA, San Fran, Oakland, San Diego, Ventura, Riverside, Palm Springs, done work in Denver, Austin, Philadelphia, New York, DC, Miami. Sometimes we do work inside, like in Joliet, Illinois, we did a distribution center on a Target.
Tell us a little bit about the artists that do the work. How many do you have?
So we've now worked with hundreds of artists. Ruben Rojas is one of them. John Park is another. Corey Matty in the last year has really done amazing work and done some awesome stuff with the People's Concern here in a big one here in Santa Monica, actually, that's top of mind. So that's a beautiful one to help support homeless activism and help get homeless off the street. Marcel Blanco, he goes by Cell, has been like part of the Beautify crew forever, since the beginning. David Gilmore is wonderful. Gino Lafredo, people who have just been doing great work.
Where does it go from here? Does it go to sidewalks and pavement?
It's really whatever is possible that people can think about when they look at a boring, bland, or blighted space. That's what's possible. When you look at a space, you're like, wow, that can easily have something. Can you imagine walking down a sidewalk and like the whole sidewalk was just like an experience? It's really about creating experience. And I think as unfortunately, a lot of the small stores are competing with folks like Amazon and Walmart, and this will be a positive thing in the future. It's very hard for a lot of them, but it will evolve into something different. And we believe that difference is experience. Mm. And we're really in the business of creating placemaking and creating experience.
Do you have a story, Evan, of either a story someone's told you or that you've personally experienced from a community or an individual that has seen a beautified project and what it has meant to them to have that space beautified?
One we did, it had the word gratitude on it. And she said, every morning now I get to wake up and I get to, instead of look at this, what was a big ugly wall, a big ugly blank box in front of me, I now get to look at this word gratitude and see that every day when I wake up in the morning, this big, colorful word. And it changed my entire reason for even being in my apartment where I'm living right now. So when you look at it from like a city perspective, you just kept a resident there who loves their community, an active community participant. You've created one by saying, I love my neighborhood and this is why. And her personal well-being is now affected in a really positive way. So, I mean, that's like,
nothing better and more of it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
If you're an artist and you want to get in touch, or if you have a space, whether it's a wall or a sidewalk or some space that they want Beautify to beautify, how can they reach you, Evan?
Beautifyearth.com. Super easy. You can add your project right to the site. If you have a wall and you're hoping to have a sponsor, you can also add your wall to the site. If you're an artist and you want to sign up and get some work for opportunities that come along, definitely have a profile. You can join right now just by going to the site. So all of those are possible. And of course, you can always contact us.
Evan Meyer, CEO of Beautify. Thanks so much for joining us.
It was great chatting with you. Thanks for having me.
And for more Only Good Heroes, make sure to head over to OnlyGood.tv. You can also find us on Instagram at OnlyGood.tv. We'll be back soon with more Only Good Heroes.